making no apologies. That's it, umhlaba mawuhlulwe, so that our people can have access to the land.
Life is difficult, but you must soldier on. Don't give up. If you are a coward, you don't belong here.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Civil Politics. So today I do want us to cover quite a serious story with a lot of allegations in between that obviously as the story is developing that we keep getting some information. And so it is alleged, or we received a communication that there are 17 South Africans that are stuck in Russia, right? They reached out to President Cyril Ramaphosa. They told him that they're stuck in Russia, they are needing assistance, right? So of course the first question was like, what were they doing there? How did they get there, right? ANC released a statement, which I hopefully can get into. They released a statement where they were outlining that people need to be careful to traveling into countries, especially when we as South Africa have got like an alliance. You know, it is like unconstitutional and unlawful for them to go, for example, like just randomly and like to Russia. I actually wish I could read that statement now, but I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna wait. So as the ANC said, okay, fine, they're gonna do investigations. How did they get there? What happened? Where were they going? Right? So that story broke last week. Okay. Well, we are still waiting for some developments to hear and get some feedback. What are they doing in Russia? I mean, in a country that we know that there's like war happening, you know, Russia, Ukraine. So like, how did they get there in the first place? You know, fine. Yesterday, as we were waiting to hear, or the ANC is still investigating, yesterday News 24 broke the news that it's actually MK members that are stuck in Russia-Ukraine war, right? Everyone is shocked. Uguti MK members, how? What happened? Now, it is alleged that, I am going to read this article out by them. So it is alleged that they went to do special training, right? They went to do special training for bodyguard so that they can come back and be a special protection team for Jacob Zuma. So Jacob Zuma sent them there. That's what the story said. So they when they got to Russia, they trained for 3 weeks, and then they were now being taken to combat, like to the war zone. So they reached out to Jacob Zuma and they said, listen, we're being taken to war here. We've only been trained for 3 weeks. This is not what we signed up for anyway. We just came here to train and then come back home. What's happening now? Please help, right? Jacob Zuma writes a letter to the Russia defense I think minister in Russia, and says, listen, those South Africans that are there have no prior experience in combat or like in war. Please, they don't have enough experience. Remove them from the front line. Please remove them. Okay, Jacob Zuma's efforts were ignored. Nothing was said. This is how they ended up reaching out to Cyril Ramaphosa. And when they reached out to Cyril Ramaphosa, they reached out as South Africans, right? Fine. And not like we were sent by who, right? Okay, fine. So yesterday, Fikile Mbalula also had a press briefing where he was announcing Ukuti, well, they received communications of South Africans that are stuck in Russia, and now they also hear from News 24 that's MK members. So Fikile Mbalula was saying, I don't want to be sued. I'm also going by what News 24 is saying, but we are investigating as the ANC to find out, Kanti, where were the people going? What were they doing there? So that is the background of the story, right? Now, because a lot of people were saying, well, it can't be MK members, why would you say that? So I want to get into the source of News 24 and get to understand Uguti, how did they come to the conclusion that it's MK members? How, like, where did they get the letter that Jacob Zuma sent to Russia, right? I hope I did justice the summary. Now let's get right into it. It says here, 17 South African men are fighting for their lives on the front lines of the war in Ukraine after they were sent to Russia by Jacob Zuma MK party for what they believed was training to become party bodyguards. So these people are fighting for their lives. After complaints about their condition to party leadership, including to Zuma's daughter, Duduzile Zuma Sambodla, yielded no results, they approached President Cyril Ramaphosa. So they did complain to the leadership and to Duduzile, and there was no answer. Then they reached out to Cyril Ramaphosa. His office released a statement last week, which is the statement that I said I wish I can read. They released a statement last week saying the government has received distress calls from the men who were trapped in the war-torn Donbas region of Ukraine after being lured to join the missionary forces under the pretense of lucrative employment contracts. Now, Zuma's letter, News 24 obtained a copy of a 2-page letter dated the 19th of September, which bears, imagine 19th of September, that's like far, because now we're in what, November? So September, I mean, is like 2 months ago. So News 24 got a copy of the 2-page letter dated 19th September, which bears what appears to be Zuma's signature. It is addressed to the Russian Defense Minister, Andriy Belosov, whom Zuma begs to remove the men from the combat zone and send them to a safer location. In the letter, however, Zuma refers to 18 men and not the 17 which the president's statement refers to, right? So when Jacob Zuma writes the letter, he says there were 18. President, when he received the call, they heard that there were 17. So is this, could they be deaths? Well, we don't know. A source close to the family of one of the men said that, because I was wondering who leaked the story. So it's someone close to the family of one of the men said that when the group went to Russia in July, they went in July, there were more than 20 of them. This is actually what Fikile Mbalula said as well in his press briefing. I'm going to play Fikile Mbalula's a tiny bit of his speech or media briefing yesterday. Fikile Mbalula said, well, it is believed that there were 20 or more of these men. And if there are only 17 now, it means that some of them have died. That's what Mbalula said. And of course, it needs to be investigated who sent them there. This could be a very, very big story. Yeah, well, it's actually very, very big and shocking. So this person who leaked this story now, a source close to the family of one of the men, said that when they left in July, there were more than 20. Hey. The letter News 24 has been circulated amongst the men as proof that efforts were being made to get them out. The letter stated, Your Excellency, while our resolve to support the Russian Federation remains unshaken, I must humbly and gently appeal to you directly. Sending these untrained, inexperienced volunteers into an active combat is a certain tragedy. It would be a devastating loss to their families, to our party, which is our party, is the MK party, and to the future of Russo-African relations. It is said that men were sent to Russia to learn from their world's finest so that they may one day return to Africa as capable leaders and steadfast champions of our common cause. The letter added that the men were misled by a former soldier within the Russian army from South Africa who facilitated their enrollment not for an officer training program as intended, but into a standard basic infantry contract in Pskov, a city near the border with Estonia. So they were misled. They thought when they were joining there, they were going to join training. It's like this thing of us seeking employment, guys. It's like this thing of seeking employment, like when you're trying to apply overseas, and then it happens that you're not actually being hired to go do a job, but you are maybe taken in as like a sex worker, or for example, or you're being trafficked. It's something like that. So they were taken under the false pretense that they were being trained for special, like to be bodyguards, but they are actually being taken to war. So Zuma wrote, these young men filled with idealism but possessing no prior marital experience were apparently given 3 weeks of training. Today I received the most alarming communication from the stating they are being deployed directly to the combat zone. We respectfully, this is Zuma now, we respectfully and with the greatest camaraderie request your immediate intervention to investigate the possibility of cancelling their current infantry contracts, which were signed under patently misleading circumstances, the letter continued. The gravity of this situation is compounded by the fact that Western media actors have already made contact with our party, seeking to create a damaging internal scandal from this misunderstanding. We are currently suppressing this information, but our ability to do so is limited and time is critically short, the letter said. Now, well, Jacob Zuma is alleged to be writing this letter to Russia. They are also saying that they were trying to suppress this matter. Of course, if he wrote a letter in September and we're only finding now the information, that means the information was really being suppressed. But most of those the men that were left, they couldn't take it anymore. Like when they found that there was nothing that is happening, then whoever came with the idea that let's reach out to President Ramaphosa if we want to survive here. So it says that on Monday, the MK party spokesperson Tlamulo Ndlela neither confirmed nor denied the authenticity of the letter, but confirmed that it bore Zuma's signature. Hey. So Tlamulo Ndlela didn't confirm or deny, but he did say that that was Zuma's signature, because when the letter was leaked to News 24, of course, no one could confirm the signature. I doubt that we would participate in a program that aims to have any negative outcome. We always act in accordance with the spirit of our leaders. We always act in accordance with the spirit of our relationship with Russia. Whatever the engagement we have with them is based on that. Anything outside of that, hence the president wrote the letter, which is signed, and you've just showed me now. We will await the response, which will give us clarity, he said. So Untlamulo says, listen to his reply, crazy to me. He says, Uti, we would participate in a program that aim. I think he wants to say, okay, he says we wouldn't participate. He says that as the MK party, they would not participate on a program that aims to have a negative outcome. They will always act in accordance with the spirit of their relationship with Russia. Whatever engagement we have with them is based on that. Anything outside of that, which is now this unforeseen circumstance or this misleading contracts that were signed, he says that anything outside of that, hence the president wrote the letter, which is signed, and you've just shown me now. We will await that response. Yeah, well. So he does confirm that the letter is written by Zuma. It's the first time I'm seeing, so Tlamulo says also, it's the first time I'm seeing this letter you showed me, and where you even got it, I don't know. Ndlela requested a copy of the letter so that he could comment on its origin, with which News 24 sent him. So News 24 sent him the letter. Attempts to reach Tlamulo later were, however, unsuccessful, with his phone going straight to voicemail. So Tlamulo requested for the letter. They must show him this letter. So after they've sent him the letter, which is News 24, they couldn't reach him anymore. His phone was on voicemail. Asked for a comment, Ramaphosa spokesperson Vincent Magwenya said, "We are not commenting on any of the specifics you have raised. Our investigations are ongoing." The families now are apparently in fear. Remember how this story got leaked as well? It's because of someone close to the family. Now it says that a source close to the family of one of the men, I think also the families can't speak out because they also signed some contract. Hence now this is someone who's close to the family who is sharing all this information. Sometimes you have to sign NDA for these things. A source close to the family of one of the men who spoke on condition of anonymity told News 24 that in the weeks leading up to their departure, the men were informed they would return to work in the protection unit of the MK party. The source said the offer was hurried and shrouded in secrecy, but it was sold as a professional thing. The men were instructed to pack light, just a small bag, passport, and a jacket. Yo, Nkosi yami. On the 8th of July, the source said the group boarded a flight to Dubai where they were stranded. Where they were stranded for 2 days following an issue with their paperwork. Because another question that I had is, how did they travel? They were stranded for 2 days following an issue with their paperwork. After they arrived in Russia, their families did not hear from them for 10 days because their phones were taken. When contact was briefly re-established, the families were told that there were no training academies or professional programs available. Instead, they were to be sent to a remote location for 3 weeks of basic military training. After that, they learned that they were destined for Ukraine and war. The source said they got there, everything they had on them, any shoe, whatever, was put in a fire and burnt, and they were left with nothing, just underwear. I think this is why it makes it difficult for them to come home, Kengo, because if everything you have is taken from you, they were given military clothes, uniform, put in trucks, and they were taken to the bush. They were staying underground in holes. There were drones everywhere. They realized they were literally at the front line. They were doing everything in their power, and on our side, we are doing everything in our power to protect the people that brought us here. Yet they don't care about us. Why would you be protecting about people that brought you there? Because I think also, if they want President Ramaphosa to help them, the ANC to help them, they need to bring out the truth about who took them there. And if it is Jacob Zuma, he needs to be held accountable. Anyone that took them there, risked the lives of these people, has to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. So they are saying that we are doing everything in our power to protect the people that brought us here. Yet they don't care about us. They are quiet and they are not saying anything. But we are here protecting them, the man said. This is painful, I don't want to lie. So personally, I've made a decision. It's now about that time for people in South Africa to know what is happening here. A former MK member told News 24 he knew the party had sent several members to Russia. I heard about the program where some guys would be sent to Russia for bodyguards training of some sort, he said, adding that the plan was not transparent or communicated to all the members of the organization. In its statement, the presidency said, under the Foreign Military Assistance Act, it is illegal. This is what I'm saying. It's illegal. It is illegal for South African citizens and entities to offer or provide military assistance to foreign governments or participate in armies of foreign governments unless authorized by the government. So if really Jacob Zuma, the MK party, took these people to Russia, they need to be held accountable because that's illegal. They must be held accountable. Now I understand also why they wanted to suppress this matter. In an interview with News 24 on Monday, Ukraine ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Schreiber, added the men were recruited by one of the warring parties with promises of highly lucrative contracts to fight on their side. He said, luring people into a foreign war is against South African legislation. So it's something that's between the Russia government and the South African government. Imagine if the Russia government and the South African government fight because MK decided to take people into a war to Russia. Imagine now if we find ourselves in a war because South Africa will say, well, Russia murdered our men. Imagine if we find ourselves in war because of MK decided to take people to Russia. They must be held accountable. Suga. asked if the Ukraine government was helping Pretoria to ensure that the men return. Skreba said there was no way for the Ukraine government to assist them in bringing them back, aside from if they surrender and they become prisoners of war. Ay betunana. Then that would be the moment for Ukraine government to step in. Aibo. So Ukraine is saying that they can't assist because South Africa is trying to negotiate with Ukraine and ask him, can you please bring these men back for us? Yeah, but and remember, Zuma took these men to Russia. They didn't take them to Ukraine. So South Africa is asking Ukraine, can you bring these men back? Ukraine is saying there's no way for us to help them. The only way to help them if they surrender as prisoners of wars. Anything can happen. Okay? So once they surrender as the prisoners of wars, then Ukraine can step in and then whatever that can be negotiated. Yo. I actually want to see if I can attach the clip of Umbalula as well because he had a press briefing yesterday. I hope I'm able to, guys, because this is such a long video already. This is shocking. You guys tell me what you think because this is already such a long episode. What do you think? What do you think should happen now? Do you think that MK Party really sent these men to Russia and now they are scared of speaking out because of course it's illegal what they've done? And if men were more than 20, meaning that some of them have died already. But the truth is gonna come out anyway. What should happen? This is very messy. Please let me know what you think. Let me attach the clip of Umbalula here.
There are South Africans trapped there. We have issued a statement and we want to reiterate that we want to know who sent them there. What were they doing there? Were they mercenaries and all of that? President and government, we have said as the ANC, they must leave no stone unturned to get to the bottom of these 17 people whom it is rumored that they were 20. It means about 3 people have died there. Children, fathers of children have been dispatched to a war zone by somebody. I hear now another rumor that it is MK Party. So I don't want to be sued. I hear from you, the media, today, News 24, that it is rumored that these people were sent there by Zuma. So I don't know. But Zuma disappeared in the country. I don't know whether he was in the war zone and then he came back singing and very energetic when he came back. So, and somebody was saying on Twitter, Umbalula can't match Zuma. I can't match him. He's very fit from wherever he comes from. Umdomdala ayu fit kakhulu unqamalala nam ungithusile at this age. So we don't want to entertain rumors.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to this channel. It is free of charge. Our aim is to get to 40k subscribers, and please support the channel, guys. Buy the horse coffee. I'll see you on the next one. Aluta continua. Until the next time. This is shocking.